Reddit. What is the strangest thing you have a guy for? When I was a waiter in downtown Phoenix 20 years ago, I had a street person on retainer. Parking was difficult for lunch shift. Our restaurant wouldn't validate employees' parking. So we had to use the meters on the street. Since the meters had a 2-hour limit, you needed to park close enough to be able to run down and feed them in the middle of the lunch rush. Spaces were very limited. One day, soon after starting, I passed the same bum for the third night in a row panhandling. He wasn't at all vocal, just tried doing funny dances and making people smile. Then he'd tell you to have a nice night, never outright asked for anything, and was never rude or aggressive. I gave him a couple bucks a few nights in a row and started to notice him during the day too once we became familiar. The first time I saw him, after pulling in for a lunch shift, I gave him a handful of change from my coin cup in the console and told him if he fed my meter with it all day I'd throw him some cash again after my shift. Found out then that his name was Mike. 2 hours later it's noon 30 and the crew is dashing down to feed their meters or asking whomever is going down to do it for them. I gave someone a couple of quarters and asked them to check on mine while they were at it, just in case. They were back in 5 minutes reporting that my car was good, the hostess car was good, and 2 other servers bookending my car were good. All of us until after 2 p.m. Some homeless guys feeding all the meters on this side of the block. The next day, as I was making my way around the gauntlet of one-way roads surrounding the building housing my restaurant, I saw Mike. He was standing in a parking space right by the bottom of the escalator leading to my work, and as soon as he saw my car, he pulled his pants leg up and did a little chorus line dance move to get my attention. He'd been standing there holding the spot for me for the past 15 minutes. Thus it began. Mike held a parking spot for me nearly every morning for the next 2 years. He fed my meter and the meter of any other staff I asked him to. I started keeping car cleaning stuff in my car, Windex, Armor All, and would give him towels from the restaurant to detail it up once a week. He knew what bar I hung out at and where I sat. He'd track me down when meters were about to expire or he needed a buck. Everybody at the restaurant and the bar across the street started calling him my bum. He was my friend though too. His name was Mike. He just didn't live anywhere because life is more complicated for some people. But yeah, I had a guy once, a true downtown concierge. Edit. Thank you all for the awards and encouraging words. I've always felt that kindness is its own reward, but internet points are neat too. I used to have a guy for burying horses. Seriously, though, you need a good one. We have one in my family too, and you really do need a good one. Burying a horse is one of the worst things out there for about 1,000 reasons. I have a coupon guy, a mango guy, an egg guy, and a tamales guy. My friend's wife also makes artsy penises on commission, but I've never taken her up on it. I'm sorry, I'm going to need a definition of makes artsy penises. Are we talking bedazzling my penis, paintings, lawn ornaments? I can absolutely see all of these being options, but the mind spins on the hilarity of all of them. And isn't a coupon guy just your newspaper delivery person? I got a guy named Fat Tony who occasionally texts me about rare but cheap musical instruments. He's always trying to loop me in on his side hustle of finding instruments on eBay and repairing them for sale. One day I get a text that say, "Yo, lazy clock 7316. This is Fat Tony. I got a Hammond organ for ya. 100 and that's how I got my organ." I still have no idea how he got my number or who he really is. We've never met in person. Fat Tony, literally my dream LOL. I've wanted a 4-string banjo for years and can never justify the expense for a new one. I've looked in a lot of antique malls and they're usually falling apart and listed for 600, but I refuse to give up looking. Edit. Accomplished my dream. Now time to learn the banjo LOL. I'm very old. By Reddit standards I should be dead. When I was a kid I was Sabbath boy for the elderly Jewish couple next door. They were very orthodox and there were a bunch of things they wouldn't do on Sabbath, like turn a light off or light the furnace. It was okay for me to do it for them, as long as it was voluntary and not a paid arrangement, because I'm not Jewish. They gave us produce from their kitchen garden. But that was not payment. He had the tattoo. Maybe she did too. But she always wore long sleeves. I was glad to help them. As kids, my sister and I did this for an elderly couple who lived next door. They'd call over the fence and ask if they needed something. We were outside like 90% of the day playing anyway. No money changed hands, but they'd regularly call us over to eat some of their delicious food. Pretty sure we made out like bandits on that deal. Occasional 2 minutes of work, 4 random infusions of the best ducking soups I've ever eaten. Yes please. I actually didn't put the religious element together until many years later. It was a poor neighborhood, but people helped each other out. It was very common for kids to be sent over to a neighbor's to help with something, or to bring by some mom says we made too much casserole. Can you help us get through it? Gifts, reciprocity, not money made the neighborhood function. I've got a pineapple guy. Gets me the good stuff. Variously called the Sugarloaf pineapple, white pineapple, Kona Sugarloaf, Kona white, honey cream, etc. It's a pineapple that is sweeter and, crucially, has significantly lower acidity, so it doesn't hurt your mouth or tongue if you eat too much of it. It's good to have a pineapple guy. Edit: for those of you asking how to get your own pineapple guy, you gotta know a guy. And for those who'd asking how my guy gets his pineapple, I don't ask, and he doesn't tell. That's the whole point of having a guy. I give him money, and he gives me the pineapple. No questions asked. Edit 2: yes, I'm seriously talking about pineapple fruit, not weed. Now that weed is legal, does anybody actually need a weed guy anymore? And I thought me having an apple guy would be exotic. I have a guy who deals in old apple varieties. Want a special tree? He's got it. Cows in it. Not a problem. Philippa's apple. Yes. Northern Spy. Of course. We are planting a rather big orchard, and I love listening to him extolling the virtues of historic apple varieties. The old varieties are healthier. They contain more polyphenols, which are apparently the reason why these apples are particularly good for people with food allergies. They are often better adapted to soil and weather in our region. And they are beautiful. And the taste is amazing. Some taste of almond paste and honey. Others have a more lemony taste. It's like sampling wine. He's currently trying to get us a young pear tree from a variety that has only 4 known living exemplars left in our region. I'm absurdly proud to be the receiver of such a rarity. He just called, and I'm excited. It's good to have an apply guy. I have a fat guy. If I need to get fat, I call up the fat guy and I get some. He did breast reductions, tummy tucks and such. Fat has lots of stem cells. I used to have a brain guy. I do medical research. I had no idea where this was going after the first sentence. Slightly too crazily outdated AV equipment. All high-end stuff. No dude does light AV work for rich folks. Not like home movie theater stuff. Just high-end TVS, surround systems, etc. The old stuff has to go away when they want the newest gadget. My uncle literally is 1 degree away from a full-on hoarder. He has tons of old AV equipment. Stacks of shit he's collected since the 70s. He refuses to part with any of it, use any of it, and still goes to the swap meet to buy more. Cameras, players, mixers, lightning. Horse semen. Family all own horse ranches and breed. And once at a convention, overheard a woman said she could not find a decent paint male to breed her mare to. I stepped up and shared my connection. Edit: paint male. Paint. LOL, sorry missed that. And a paint is a multicolored horse with large spots, typically brown or black on white. They are beautiful and highly sought after. My family has some rare bloodlines that are beloved for their colors and happy, even temperament. Are you even a farmer if you haven't held a cement straw? Jokes aside, there's some serious money in the cement business. Just don't ask how they collect it. Acquiring promotional displays, like new ones, or collectibles. Do you get those giant cardboard cutouts of stuff? I always both want one, and have no idea where to put it. Spare computer monitors. They aren't the best quality, but if I ever have a friend or family member that needs a spare computer monitor, I call him up and get one from him, thus making me the computer monitor guy for several other people. I used to have a pie guy. He would come around to my shop and all the shops and businesses in the area had savory Cajun pies and sweet pies. He had a few regular choices on hand all times and also took custom orders. The toffee pies were incredible. You've just enlightened me to a new range of foods I must try. I love toffee. I love pie. I love savory pies. I have a salsa lady. She's been winning awards for it since before I was born. Eat a wow. I wasn't expecting this to get so much attention. I'll call her later today and ask if she's open to shipping orders out for y'all. Second edit, sorry y'all. She says she sells out locally and doesn't see the need to ship. I have a sloth guy. 3 separate family events over the last 15 years. I've called my guy and he's brought a sloth to the party. Edited to reassure people. He runs a Rasta certified wild animal rescue and has his sloth for close to 20 years. He takes extraordinary care of all of his animals. The sloth is not a performing animal no one gets to approach, handle, or pet it. He simply brings it for a short period of time so that people can see it, and he discusses its life, behavior, and care. He does phenomenal work to protect and preserve wildlife. Many of his animals came to him after being purchased by people who wanted an exotic pet they quickly realized they could not care for. I have a mattress gal. She runs a high-end mattress shop and is supposed to dispose of any returned mattresses. I take care of disposal by showing up at the customer's place, bringing the disposal mattresses around to any friends or family in need of a mattress upgrade. I got a sweet 4000 king bed for free and hauling it because it was a return. Ducking, yes, I worked for a junk removal company for a couple years and we had a contract with some furniture companies in the area. If a rich person bought something but didn't like it, we were supposed to return it. But these places didn't actually want used pieces of furniture back, so we were supposed to put it in the dump. Well, we were already paid to pick it up, and putting things in the dump costs money, so if anybody asked if they could take this piece of furniture into their own house, the answer was always yes. Furnished my entire house and parts of friends' houses in my early 20s this way. I worked at a furniture delivery firm for a while, mostly hauling sofas to rich people. They always wanted us to bring the old sofa with us, and we could take what we wanted. The most ridiculous thing was when a customer ordered a new 4000 sofa. They lived in a penthouse without elevator, and when at last we reached their floor they told us to trash their old sofa. They'd had it for less than a week, and it was ducking identical to the new one. Although they claimed it was a slightly different shade of teal. It wasn't even that nice of a sofa. But rich people be rich, I guess. Edit Reddit Silver. Oh man. Thank you. And so very sweeting it's for a comment about pouring money down the drain. Pro tip, the Oggerwood link is still free. I have an illegal cheese and jerky lady. She owns a farm that sells legitimate animal products farm to table, but she also makes cheese and jerky on the side and sells it only to people she trusts. In Canada we have incredibly strict laws around dairy and jerky products. I've got a clam guy. He gets fresh clams in the morning, then walks around town with a cooler on a cart and sells them door to door. I got him business cards for Christmas one year, and he made me write Clam Master on them. He's a character. Edit to add some more info. He does deliver door to door. He'll sometimes sell the majority of his haul to a seafood restaurant near me, but he'll usually hold back a few dozen for me. First time I met him probably 7 or 8 years ago, he was carrying clams in a 5-gallon bucket walking my block. He asked if I wanted to buy some clams, and I said yes, and we've been friends ever since. He later started coming around with a big cooler on a cart and even had a moped with a tiny trailer for a little while. He doesn't deliver on demand, but he reliably comes by once or twice a week during clam season. Always fresh caught that morning. I work in the props department in film and television. What do you want? I'll get it. Edit, I'm not a props dealer. I don't sell my stuff. I'm the bird feeder guy for a very wealthy man. When he's on vacation, I will go in the morning to fill up the feeders and at night take them down. Edit, since a lot of people are asking, we take them down at night because of the raccoons and skunks. My uncle has a criminal history, now owns a car business, but still in contact with old friends. He once told me, If I need something, he knows people I don't want to know. Edit yes guys. Here's my guy. A friend who was a bit of good girl was doing a sociology project and hung out with a local drug lord for a bit as part of it. When illegal things were happening, he would tell her to leave for a while. He ended up really taking a shine to her, and at the end of the project he gave her his number and said if she ever needed anything to call him. A few months later she called him to just say hi, and he yelled at her not to call unless she needed something done to someone. Being a good person with a connection to organized bad people just blows my mind. I have a guy who will diagnose my weird ailments, even if he's planting pumpkins, or cleaning out a chicken coop, or nursing injured birds back to health. I've even sent him pictures at 4 AM of the horrible conjunctivitis that I developed over a 12-hour period, and by 8:30 AM he delivered a prescription of antibiotic eye drops to my house. I have a tamale guy. Everyone should have a tamale guy. My tamale guy ghosted me. I'm not sure what happened, but he used to deliver like 24 tamales every few weeks, and it was amazing. I live in Canada, so it's hard to find a good tamal. I had ordered my usual, and he said he would be by the next day. I never heard from the guy ever again. I don't know if the strangest, but definitely one of my favorite go-to guys is my chicharrones pork rinds guy. He's also my drywall and painter guy, but I reach out more frequently for his homemade chicharrones. I seriously need a pork rind guy. There's a huge Hispanic population here, so I guess the only thing stopping me is actually looking for one. Edit need to find a tamal guy gal too, especially if they do custom orders. Used to know a guy that made pork and pineapple tamales. Holy shit, they were good. I got a guy who will mold your genitals and cast it in the metal of your choosing. That's his specialty. He does other stuff like jewelry and general handicrafts, but he's happy to be known as the metal genital guy. Dude's a character. Edit a surprising amount of your larding me about custom cock molds. Sorry to break your hearts, but he primarily works with vaginas. He's done some cocks, but mostly just friends or local pornsters. If he's to be believed, he's molded around 1,000 vaginas. I personally think it's probably more like 200, but I don't know him that well. I've got a serious egg guy. It's a 14-year-old kid that lives just outside of my city. His dad wanted to teach him about budgets and business, so he bought him a few chickens and the kid used his allowance to buy food and a chicken coop. Now he has to take care of them, pay for feed, and collect and sell eggs for profit that goes back into upkeep and food. And he's making a killing selling below market value to a dozen for farm fresh eggs. He sells to his entire school and church. He's grown his operation to be massive and has hired on a couple friends part-time to help. Did I says he's 14 years old. I'm the computer guy for a lot of people, but the problem is they think that means I know everything about anything computer related. I don't do social media except for Reddit, and I can't tell you why your Facebook account is screwed up. I have a guy for eggs that sells good quality farm raised eggs for cheap, and a guy for mushrooms, the actual eating ones. He's actually an agrarian engineer with an postgrad in something related to mycology and mushroom farming. Honey and beeswax LOL. Helped him make a few bee boxes over one weekend, and he gave me 5 pounds of the most delicious gold I cold ever asked for. Turned that into mead that I shared with my closest connections for Christmas one year. It was the best alcohol I've ever had in my life. I want it so badly again, but I need his honey first LOL.